CL&P, you're no good. You messed up my neighborhood. CL&P, you're no good. You messed up my neighborhood. CL&P, you're no good.
So how do you feel about the situation now?
It's a sin what they've done to 2 and 3 very well managed companies. This present management and the past couple of CEOs have raped it. They financially raped the corporation. They sold off the assets. They were the ones behind deregulation. It really pushed deregulation. And who made money? The consumer didn't, the shareholder didn't, and the employees certainly didn't. They sold Millstone for $1.3 billion. They couldn't run Millstone. Dominion's running it just fine, making money hand over fist. They sold the hydro plants for $1.3 billion. Every year since they sold it, their companies that bought it have since, they've been 2 or 3 owners of the hydro plants on Housatonic. They've made twice their normal profits. It's a mismanagement thing from the top down. Now it's hurting the consumer, the people out in the field that they're dependent on electricity, that we spend our lives, our careers trying to put back up, and they don't give a damn. They've cut us so short we don't have enough people to respond to take care of simple emergencies on a normal work day. And I says, a storm like this comes through and it's just devastating. And we hurt. I mean, this was the first time in my 40 years that I had to be on the other side of an outage. I was only 3 or 4 days without. But again, I was so ashamed that they didn't provide for people the way they used to.
What do you think the biggest problem was, that there wasn't a speedier resumption of electricity?
Arrogance and ignorance on the management's part. The company's been doing this for 130 years. Hartford Electric Light started here in 1881, and they started putting power and lights out since then. They've been doing it ever since. Storms, whatever. And every time they do have a storm, they say, oh, we learned some lessons. Well, when's it going to stop? We know what needs to be done and what you got to have to do it. They ignore us completely. They just push us off. We're the ones that they don't want to hear from. They got a better idea, and it just doesn't work. Proof is in the pudding. In Gloria and the ice storms in '73 and all the storms we've had since, when left to the people in the field, things got done. The emergencies were taken care of, and we worked until we got the last light on. These people trying to save a couple bucks or send you home early, they're cutting back on help. It's a damn shame what they've done to the people of the state of Connecticut.
And there's been criticism they didn't get out-of-state crews in early enough?
They waited till they got the cheap help. You got to think about this. They had to go 1,200 miles or better to get help to come up here, okay? If your toilet was overflowing, would you go 200 miles to get somebody to fix it? I mean, it's a systematic problem with the whole country. There aren't enough linemen to do the job that needs to be done. But think about it. When you have to go 1,200 miles or better to get help, there's something wrong with the system. Only in the last 5 or 10 years we've had to go them kind of distances. Before that, we used to go to New York or Pennsylvania, something like that, but never 1,200 miles, never to Louisiana. Granted, they're devastating storms, but we never had to travel that far to help people or have people come this way to help us. There's something wrong with the system, and people in there are contributing to it. They're taking their profits, sticking it in their pockets. They're not putting it back into the corporation where they got that money from.
Check! I check! Power, power, we've got the power! Power, power, we've got the power! Power, power, we've got the power! Power, power, we got the power! You're no good. You messed up our neighborhood. CL&P. You're no good. You messed up our neighborhood.
My name is Frank Cirillo. I'm with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. I represent the CL&P people that are our line workers, our cablemen, our meter service people, our stock handlers, our technicians, our testmen, and we do a wonderful job.
Yep.
The only problem was, during the last 2 years, CL&P has been tying our hands and not letting us go to work and do our jobs like we used to do.
Move down.
We should have had power restored days earlier and we didn't. But I see a lot of young faces in the crowd, and that's very good. And I'd like to illustrate something here, just so that you kids and people understand something. Back in the 70s and the 80s, there was approximately 47% of workers were unionized workers. And this represents the 47% of union workers. It's 47 cents on the dollar, okay? It's very important for you young people to understand. We are now losing defined pension plans.
Yep. Oh yeah.
We are losing health care benefits. Cities and towns are having no retiree health care benefits for their employees. And one of the reasons for that is this is what's left of the American labor movement, 12%. So this is where we were, and we used to have a lot, and we had a strong middle class. And this is where we are today. But the sad thing is, the right-wing talk show hosts and the executives and Fox News wants you to think that this 12% of the workforce is the problem in the United States of America.
Bullshit!
And it's not. This is not the problem. To illustrate that, I've got more pennies here. Outside of the 47 pennies that I have here and these here, that's what labor is today, right here. The 12% are being blamed for all the problems. And the problem is, everybody's worried about how we're going to pay down our national debt. Well, I don't know how we're going to pay it down, because we don't have jobs.
Right.
And this company could hire people.
That's right.
And the phone company could hire people.
That's right.
And the cable companies can hire people. And they could pay better wages, and they could get better health care benefits. And that's all people are looking for. You young people don't have a chance today. And it's very, very sad. Now I'd like my assistant to talk about the corporate salaries here at Connecticut Light and Power Company.
How you doing? For all you young people. What's your name? My name is John Unikis. I've been a member of this local since 1971. And I've always stood for better benefits, better wages, good working conditions, and a strong middle class. My father was a union worker. I had medical benefits when I was a kid. I want my kid to have medical benefits, and so should all of you.
That's right.
A couple of numbers here for you. In 1975, we had 800 line workers. Those are good jobs for Connecticut residents. Today, well, we had 800,000 customers back then also. Today, we have 1.2 million customers, and we have less than 400 linemen?
Yes.
Less than 400 linemen as we speak today. We need not only to go back to 800, but beyond 800. Now deal with Mr. Shivery. Mr. Shivery came from Baltimore. He's not a Connecticut resident. He became the CEO in 2004. He made $2 million a year. In 2011, he made over $8 million a year. Wow. In 2012, 2010, in 2011, he's going to make $9.3 million a year. And here's the real kicker from Mr. Shivery. When they merge with N-Star, Mr. Shivery is going to be terminated on change of control. He is going to get $31.5 million to leave.
That's right.
We're not done yet. He's going to get $2.5 million to stay on for another 18 months as an advisor. All this money is leaving Connecticut. All this money is leaving Connecticut. This company's got to hire young people. We need young people. These jobs are physical and they're dangerous. We've had 37 fatalities in this company since 1950s, but they're good jobs. And they should open up the doors and start hiring people. That's right. Thank you.